Hi everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Cricket. Today I'm going to show you how to make a peanut butter pie, and this recipe was requested by Michael. So Michael, here you go. First we're going to make the crust. If you don't want to make the crust, go ahead and buy a store-bought crust, but you'll want a chocolate one. So I'm using just a disposable pie plate, but you can use a regular one. And in my food processor I have 24 of the chocolate-filled sandwich cookies. Now I'm using the off-brand, but you could use something like Oreo. So we're just going to put it in our food processor and crush them till they're fine crumbs. And I'm going to mute this because this is the loudest food processor in the world, and it even hurts my ears. Once we have all the cookies crushed, we're going to add in 4 tablespoons of melted butter and just let the food processor mix it all together. Now this is enough crust, because this is just a regular size pie plate. This is just a regular size pie plate. You could probably make 2 crusts out of this. Press it. I use the back of a spoon. And once you get it the way that you like it, put it in your preheated 350-degree oven for 5 to 7 minutes. Take it out and let it completely cool. And if you don't want a real thick crust, just make half the recipe. It's really easier just to go buy this crust. While our pie shell is cooling, or if you bought a store-bought pie shell, I took a half a cup of the hot fudge topping that you buy, you know, like to go on top of your ice cream. Don't use the chocolate syrup because it will stay thin, it won't set up. This will thicken up once we cool it down. So I took a half a cup of it, put it in the microwave for a few seconds to get it loose, and we're just going to pour it on the bottom of our pie crust. And then we're going to set it in the refrigerator and let it finish cooling. Be careful stirring it around or moving it because you don't want to disturb your crust. Alright, now I'm going to whip my cream. If you don't want to whip your own cream, just use an 8-ounce container of the frozen whipped topping, like Cool Whip. But if you do, I'm going to use a cup. I'm using around 1.25 cups of heavy whipping cream because I want a little extra to pipe on the top. You don't have to have a little extra, so if you don't want a little extra to pipe, just use a cup. And I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar and around a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now we're just going to whip this until it starts to form stiff peaks. Remember, try not to over whip it because you'll get butter. And it's best to make sure your bowl, your cream, and your beater blades are as cold as you can get it. Alright, it's ready. Now I'm going to keep this in the refrigerator and move on to the next step. In another bowl, I have an 8-ounce brick of very softened cream cheese, and I'm just going to kind of mix it up for a minute. And you really want to make sure your cream cheese is softened real good so you don't see specks of cream cheese through your pie. And now I'm adding 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. And we're going to mix this well until it's combined, and that will mean I'm going to stop and scrape down the bowl a couple of times and really make sure it's well blended. And now I'm going to add 1 1/4 cup of powdered sugar to this mixture. And make sure that you start this out on low so you don't get dusted with powdered sugar. And now I'm going to take my whipped cream, or if you was using your whipped topping, just take it and blend it in till it's nice and blended. Since I did extra, I'm not going to add all of mine. I'll leave about a half a cup in here. And now just blend this together real good. You don't want to do a lot of blending. You may have to do some by hand. Now see how everything's nice and smooth and creamy. So let's get our pie shell. Alright, my pie shell has chilled in my fudge mixture. See, this won't get completely solidified. It will be thick. Whereas you use syrup, it just would be all over. But see how that will thicken up your hot fudge? And carefully add your peanut butter mixture into your pie shell. Now once you get to this part, you can be done with it. Just let it chill for several hours before you cut into it. But I'm going to decorate mine just a little bit. But you don't have to do this part. At this part you're finished. Just let it chill. Alright, I took about a tablespoon of my hot fudge, put it in the microwave, got it soft. And just like with my other pile, I'm going to dollop some on the top. You could put it in a piping bag and make little squiggles and stuff with it. But I'm going to take my toothpick or a skewer again. And we're going to run it through there and make a pretty design. I'm not going all the way down in the pie, just around the top. So ain't that pretty? And now I'm just going to pipe a border of cream around the edge and let it set in the refrigerator at least 4 to 6 hours or overnight. Alright, I try to cut a pretty slice, but that first slice is always really hard to get out of the pan. And also, another note on the crust, I'm telling you, store-bought crust is better and just as cheap. By the time you buy the cookies and all, you know, you could just buy a store-bought crust. And if you don't want to use, if you do make your own and you don't want to use that much crust, because that was a lot of crust, you know, you can always save it or make 2 pies. So, here's my bite. That's so good. I'm trying to get to where you can see the fudge at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, see? That little bit of extra fudge. Come here. Ricky wants to try a bite too. I told him to come on. I don't know what he's waiting on.
It looks beautiful.
That's good, ain't it?
It's very good.
So, I hope you enjoy. And Michael, I hope you enjoy it. And let me know when you make it, because I know you'll do a great job. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Comment. I love hearing from you. Share my videos if you want to. And until the next video, I hope you enjoy. And don't forget to hit the notifications so you'll be notified when I upload a video. And until next time, I hope you enjoy. Bye, y'all.